Hello, everybody. Welcome to Human Design Hotline. My name is Brenna. I am a human design reader and mentor of 9 years now, almost 9.5. And every Thursday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on TikTok, I go live. Every 7:30 on Wednesdays, I do so on YouTube. But I do save these recordings, hi Tiara, to go on my YouTube channel. So anytime I share any good information or readings here, they're now also recorded and preserved on my YouTube channel. So hence the formal intro, just so you guys get the lay of the land here. Yesterday we were talking about the transits of the day. So Tiara, if you have any questions or anything that you want to ask, please feel free to do so, and that will be recorded and also on YouTube. Now at the beginning of our recordings, do the first one in to my group here. So I'm also going to play some music so it doesn't feel so funny. Like I feel so quiet without music in my space. Not that loud where I blast our ears, but hi Tampa, welcome. But I always start off by sharing my big three in human design and astrology, because I think it's important to know kind of like the energetics of who you're reading for. I'm a Pisces Sun, Aquarius Rising, Scorpio Moon, and a 1-3 sacral manifesting generator. So if you guys are comfortable, want to drop your big three, or again, if you have any questions, anything you want to ask, you can drop it in the comments below. And then I am available. I'm just going to be on for an hour tonight. I have a very early day tomorrow, and I'm not a morning girly, so I need to make sure that I sleep appropriately. But if you have any questions that you want to ask me in relation to astrology or human design, you can do so in the comments below. But just the way that I've always done it, for some more housekeeping, is I only pull up people's charts individually if they pay for a reading for me, just to be fair for everyone that has put their financial interest and appreciation in the value exchange for the work that I do. Hello, Megan, how are you? Welcome back. What's interesting, and I can actually pull up the chart, I was talking about, and I've been really called to talk a lot about Leo in Mars in Leo right now. And so what's been interesting about Mars being in Leo is that in human design, I'm good. Happy Thursday. I was like, what day is it? Happy Thursday. Every zodiac sign, hi Marie, how are you? Every zodiac sign in human design is broken down into 6 placements known as gate placements. And that's because it breaks it down into 5 degrees at a time. So there's a 5-degree kind of like switch between gate placements. Right now, as you guys may know, I'm gonna make sure I plug in my phone here. Let's see. Right now we have Mars in Leo. Specifically from a human design perspective, we have Mars in Leo in gate 33. So what does that mean? Right now we're experiencing this transit where it's important for us to be quiet and cognizant about who we share. It looked like it was a piece of dust, but it looked like a little orb passing through. Being aware and cautious about who you share your plans and moves with. And this isn't to say that people aren't going to have your best interests in mind, but especially waiting until after the full moon in Scorpio that's happening on Monday, the 12th. Really important to pay attention to that. I do in my Patreon have we have a new and full moon circle, and I won't be I usually do them live. It's pre-recorded for Monday because I'll be traveling. And so there's basically this activation of the full moon in Scorpio on Monday of like things coming to light because of the other transits that we have, the aspects of what's happening in Uranus and things along those lines too, that are really affecting this. Hi Stephanie, oh yay, absolutely, that's amazing. Stephanie, do you know, oh yeah, gate 33, okay, cool. Stephanie, what are your big three in astrology, or do you know your energy type, at least in human design? Thank you so much. Local travel, thankfully. I'm a little more hesitant at this juncture to get on a plane to go anywhere, although I love to travel, but I have not made any like plane travel at this point. And as always, my last little housekeeping, if you guys would be so kind to like, share the live, and lets people know that there's good, juicy information happening here, so that we can continue to just make sure that people are educated in this knowledge by people who actually are holding the space in a good, sacred container, because I know we have a lot of like good, aligned people that are here. So thank you guys so much for doing that. But to continue with that, and Stephanie, I do have a free chart generator if you don't know, but if you have any questions about that, just feel free to let me know. I'm going to just pull up my notifications here to make sure that I'm not yapping over anyone's reading. It's 10 minutes $12 at the link in my bio for anyone that's interested in the hour that I'm on. Thank you, Tiara. So that way I have that. Let me do this. And I have my little dual monitor set up so I can make sure it's very easy for me to be a certified yapper. Generator. Yeah. Where exactly on my chart would I find the big three? Yeah. So, when it comes to the big three is a term in astrology that we use for your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign, your sun, moon, and rising. So for example, I'm a Pisces sun, Aquarius rising. Hi, Josh. Scorpio moon. From human design, from your chart, any chart generator online, you're not necessarily going to see your rising sign, but you will see a number that is on. If I show you here, I'm going to flip my screen around for a second so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Hi, Josh. Hi, another Josh. The Joshception. I'll use Darian's chart. Let me see. Oh, I saw low-key scared. We'll talk about being scared in a second. Let me bring up the energy. Oh, okay. So how about I can bring up the chart or the chart for Monday, if that works, and I can use that as an example. And then Stephanie, I'll show, let's see, Monday. I'll do that full moon in Scorpio. Let's see. It's the year 2025. Sometimes I put in my birth year by accident. And it's not October, although the full moon is in Scorpio. May. So fun fact, for those of you who don't know, whatever season it is, whenever there's a full moon, like it's Taurus season right now because it's the month of May, whenever we have a full moon during the month of May, it's always going to be in the opposite zodiac sign from the sun. So the sun is in Taurus. What's its opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. During Taurus season, the full moon is in Scorpio. The new moon is always going to be in the same sign as the current month or zodiac sign that's the ruler of the month. So we'll see that there too. Just as kind of like a fun, not a lot of people realize that. And I was like, oh, when I find that out, like it wasn't even terribly long ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, oh, wow, like that's actually really good. That's really cool to remember. Let me just look at the exact time for the full moon in Scorpio, and then we'll go from there. And then I am on the East Coast, so I just use New York City as kind of like my home base for this chart. And Stephanie, I'm a March 2nd Pisces. I get a lot of Virgo moons, and I love a good Gemini rising because you guys are really good and charismatic. And then you're a Virgo moon. I know you're hard on yourself. Also, it's good to be critical, but it's like, yeah, you're big-hearted for sure. Okay, let me get this up. And then I'm looking for March or May. Not March, hasn't been March for a while. Okay, so the full moon is happening Eastern Standard Time exactly at 12:55 p.m. tomorrow, Monday. So we'll put that in. And then I'll flip my screen in a second. So let me go back up and look at some comments before I flip my screen. Yeah, okay, generator, yes. Okay, so you're talking about big three. You know your big three. I'm just going to pin Megan's comment here. I am Big Ol' the Lover. I'm assuming that's how you say it, right? We were talking about that last time. And then flipping over. So being afraid about Scorpio, transiting. Let me do this. Your 8th house. So 8th house does, March 19th. Okay, love that. 8th house does have to do with death, but for me and how I've always looked at astrology and how I was taught partially, but in my personal experience, is that Capricorn is like the skull and crossbones. Scorpio energy, 8th house energy, is like because the full moon's in Scorpio, is like the dying off of something, like, oh my God, we almost didn't make it, and now everything is fine. It's like a deep level, Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio. I like to look at both the rulers of Scorpio and see like how are we actually going to be activated. So what's interesting is that from a human design perspective, like if we were to take this transit, so exactly when the moon is full at 12:55 p.m. Monday, March 12th on the I keep saying March because I'm looking at Stephanie's birthday. Monday, May 12th, we are experiencing manifestor energy. So if we were to personify all of the transits into one human design body graph for Monday, this is what it would look like. So a couple things that are happening, and I'm going to look at the moon symbol here. because this gate really specifically tells me the energy of the full moon in Scorpio. Gate 43 is the gate of insight in the fourth line. So gate of insight, when we look at what energy center or chakra it sits in, it's the ajna. So this tells me that on Monday there's going to be a lot, and this has been followed up by a couple of the astrologers that I follow, ones that high sages, ones that I connect with myself as an astrologer as well as a human design reader. This tells me that there's a lot of new information that's going to be coming out, or new information that changes the way that we connect with other people. So, hello. So what's interesting about this, and I don't know if anyone here has this channel, we lovingly call it the Genius Freak channel in human design, but it's the channel of structuring, which means that we're getting this connection for new information, revolutionary ways of thinking, ways to be more progressive about the future. But in order for us to grow, we have to cultivate the soil. We have to weed out all of the dead things that don't serve us anymore in order for us to move forward in a more aligned way. Right? Oh, have 43, hanging 43. Oh my God. Yeah, of course. Oh my gosh. No, listen, like I am the person where like, if I see somebody that I know that I have a relationship with, like, unless I'm like hardcore going through somebody's chart, like I'm always going to say hi to people. I'm big on that. It feels so weird to me to just like have people just sit here and perceive me like, and just, I don't know. I don't know. It just is the way that I am online, but thank you. But yeah, so with the 4323 channel, and also this is our Aries Aries Venus is in gate 17 right now. I was talking that sounds so Gemini of you. I know, right? True. Gate 17, gate of opinions. So, yeah, absolutely. Hi, Michaela. I'm trying to for whatever reason, it filtered your comment, Megan. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have this. This is funny. So I'm gonna flip my camera as they say this. So my sun is in the second house, so it sits below the horizon. So like, unless I'm on and being perceived with a purpose, like I don't need to be seen. Like I don't want to be perceived. And this is also very caves person of me, but it's like I'm not on unless there's a reason for it, or unless like there's a way for me to connect with my people. Otherwise, I'm just like, I want to not be perceived. I want to not have makeup on. I want to just be in comfortable clothes. I mean, I am anyway. I'll probably just wear the sweatshirt to bed, to be honest with you. But just kind of a fun thing to consider if you're where your sun sits. It's if it's above the horizon line, basically the line that runs through the middle of your birth chart, or below, you may resonate with that. Of course, it's always going to depend on like what your aspects are too. But yeah, Michaela, no, you're totally fine. I think you were on at the same time, but like, if you gotta reach your goals too, girl, like I'm not expecting you to have to be at every single one. I love when you're there, but yeah. Hi, Lucy, welcome. Yeah, anything significant about gate 14 and 34. So gate 14 is a Scorpio placement. Gate 34 is a Sagittarius placement. I'm just going to pin your comment, and then I feel like there were a couple others that I wanted to scroll like back to. But gate 14 is the last gate placement in Scorpio season. So very late degrees, including the anaretic degree, 28, 29 degrees of Scorpio, before we go into Sagittarius season. So it's interesting because even in those overlaps or late degree Scorpio, early degree Sag placements, you're going to see how those people either get along, they trigger each other, or there's overlap there. So gate 14 is known as the gate of power skills. It sits in the sacral center in human design. And so there's a lot of that, like, what can I do? Very, like the Mars emphasis on Scorpio, like how can I be of service to my other people? And it wants to be activated by doing things. Everything that I do is in service of bringing happiness to other people is a way to kind of look at that 14 and 34 overlap. That leads me to believe that 34 for you, Stephanie, is one of the gates that's a part of your channel that makes you a generator. If I had to guess, that doesn't always have to be true, but just thinking of that too. Oh, unconscious moon is 14. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Tiara. Thank you, Michaela. Yeah, that's really cool. It's interesting because I've had a lot of people that have been talking, and I don't know, sages, if you have perspective on this or if you've talked about this too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, there you go. That makes sense. I could see that in your energy. I don't think everyone would necessarily see that right away, but maybe revealing itself over time. Hard to say. In its true mysterious scorpionic fashion. Reincarnation when it comes to the unconscious side. So what Sages is talking about, I'm going to flip my screen again here so I can show you what I'm referencing. Let me make sure I do that. So a couple things. So in human design, when you're looking at a body graph, and we want to talk about reincarnation, right? This is an interesting kind of concept that's come up quite a few times, honestly, because of the full moon in Scorpio too, pretty on the nose. You guys are going to see what's called your design date. So your design date is about 88 days before your date of birth. It doesn't matter if you were a C-section baby, if you were born late, if you were born early. It's just the 88 days before your body came out on the earth side, right? In human design, there's a lot of overlap with your design date being the day that your soul implanted in your physical body, or when you kind of chose the soul's purpose, right? And that's how we can kind of, an aspect of looking at the design side or the unconscious side. Now, with my personal experience and my beliefs in incarnation, and I know, Michaela, we've talked about this too, and maybe Tiara, I don't know if Tiara, if you were here for a couple of these conversations as well, but there's anything on our design side, also known as our unconscious side, I may or may not have said that, it's like little pieces of multiple different aspects of our lifetime that we've come into this lifetime to solve. So I don't believe that like I died in the last lifetime and I immediately incarnated in the exact same way in just a different body. Although I will make the argument that, like, you know how you'll see, like, I mean, I'm dating myself when I say unsolved mysteries, and I don't mean like new OG, like unsolved mysteries on Netflix, like Dennis Farina, who wasn't even the original host. Hi, Megan, of Unsolved Mysteries, but like deep unsolved mysteries whole, like there would be kids that they would have stories covering, like children that would say like, yeah, well, you know, when I was in the airplane and then I died, you know, or whatever it is. Like those kinds of stories. It's like kids that maybe just have a more active memory or more parts of their soul that like reincarnated, you know, more heavily, instead of it being like, okay, I've had a lot of lifetimes. It's interesting. It's very like Pisces of me to say, because I'm like, there's so many lifetimes you've had. I feel like I've lived all of them. I've been 40 my entire life. Yeah, they're so cool, aren't they? But I was thinking of that, and I've been kind of doing my own semi-independent study of like looking at what people have done, like past life regressions, or I've done one past life regression, and there's been some cool overlap between my astrology and my human design, but also looking at your unconscious side. These are also really great placements to focus on when it comes to knowing what these gate placements are and understanding like, okay, if I have, like, say your South Node, gate 6, gate of friction, maybe you really hate friction, but you know that you love to win an argument, but your body hates confrontation. That would be something that this person, if they were born, you know, a baby born on Monday, would be pulling that in and learning how to discern who's worth fighting with, who's worth fighting for, and what battles do I just not need to fight. It's interesting. Yeah, for my birthday this year, I think I want to get a past life regression. It's amazing. I did it around this time last year, actually. I love my past life regressionist. Her name's Melissa. So, I follow her on here. She's Angels and Earthlings. And I highly recommend her because she's really talented and able to facilitate space over the phone, over Zoom. We did it, and she records the session and sends it to you. It took me, like, I wanted a past life regression for like 10 years, before I found her. Literally, she found me actually via TikTok. So she comes highly recommended from me, as somebody that's like good at their job and not just like, yeah, sure, I can do past life regression. And you're like, I don't feel safe with this person. It's definitely like with my Scorpio stellium, I need the right person to feel vulnerable in those things. You know, and open in that way and trusting them with the information. So, just some other things to kind of think about. But yeah, let me scroll through. I'll flip my screen again so you guys can be like, who's this wizard talking behind the screen? And let me see. I feel like there were a couple other questions that I missed by accident. Low key feeling scared about the full moon that's hitting my 8th house. Yeah, it just eliminating things that are hidden. Remembering that like 8th house is also about merging and our sexuality. I can't say that word too many times on this platform. This whole recording is going on YouTube, so you guys will see it there. I'm only going to be on for another like 40 minutes. I've early morning tomorrow, I was saying. So for those of you who turned in later, just for context. So if you want to book a reading before I'm off, you could do that at the link in my bio. But eighth house is like merging spiritual connection, energetic connection with other people, maybe people revealing themselves for like their true intentions. And that also doesn't ever have to be scary. It can just be like, you know what, we agree to disagree and go in separate directions. Not every aspect of breaking a contract or a connection has to be negative. I feel like, on TikTok, on apps online, it's really easy for things to be portrayed as black and white, and that if you break up with somebody, all breakups have to be bad and that they can't be amicable, things along those lines. But I think that really paying attention to your unique experience with how you feel about your eighth house, your Scorpio eighth house, you're merging your spirituality, intimacy with yourself, right? Like thinking about what are some of the things that you feel have been percolating recently, and then looking at it through that lens too can also be helpful for you. Hi, Mariana, how are you? Yeah, I know. So some interesting things to pay attention to. Stephanie, I'll pin your comment. What if you have Scorpio in the sixth house? So the sixth house is all about our daily routines, our health, our wellness, and how we are of service to other people. So it's so funny because things happen, if they happen in threes for most people, I feel like they happen in 13s with me because I'm having so many of these conversations a day, where a lot of people have been reaching out about the sixth house, especially with a couple of the audio, I'm referencing my other monitor, but the audio guides that I've done, there's been some sixth house activation. And that doesn't mean necessarily that like, oh my God, like there's going to be some health crisis that I'm going to have. It's an opportunity for you to look at what has to die off so that I can be of service to myself, right? My own oxygen mask on first, and then I can be of service to other people. It's not letting yourself be exhausted or get like, so running yourself so ragged that you're pouring from an empty cup, especially as a generator and manifesting generator. For those of you who are 70% of the population in one of those two camps, you need to be pouring from an overflow, not a deficit. The problem is that our society celebrates pouring out from our deficit. Even though there's changes, there's still a lot of work we need to do in that area, and that we're really good at phoning it in. And until you start to make like active changes and being like, wow, what do I really need for me as Stephanie or as Brenna or as Michaela or as Sages or as Tiara, right, as Josh, like something has to happen. And so it can be that like, you're, a little bit more depleted, right? There's a little bit more of an activation. Think the full moon or the moon and the sun in astrology are what's called a luminary. And so user 63, I'll answer that in a second. The short answer is no. And I'll tell you why. I'll explain in a second after I finish this thought about the moon. But the full moon and the sun, or the moon and the sun, are luminaries. So if you're a Cancer rising or a Leo rising, you're ruled by one of those two celestial bodies. Leo's ruled by the sun, Cancer's ruled by the moon. That's a luminary. Everyone else is ruled by a planet, okay? So it shines a light. The full moon is shining a light on an area of where you need to release something in order to manifest. It's a common misconception to manifest with the full moon, or like, I'm going to do a ritual, but it has to be clearing out of something. This is about alchemy. Something has to go in order for something to come in, because we need to create room for it. And then you manifest with the full moon. So there's a lot of those, it seems like a little like a semantics, but it's important for those of you who want to use the energy correctly, especially because this full moon is in Scorpio. And that, yeah, my undefined root is tired. Yeah, fighting for my life. Listen, I have an undefined root too, and I feel you. It's so hard to, like, now when we're so in tune, saying like, not saying jump, not saying how high when somebody says jump, even if it's not spoken. So I get you. I do. I feel like an extra full helium balloon that's floating. I have to practice it every day. I am all water and air, girlfriend. Like it took time. It took time, but I have a couple gates there. So I think I make a lot of, I know that I make a lot of channels where within activation with my people, because my sun gate 63 is a hanging gate. It does ground me. So, and in turn, I help ground other people. It's funny. But before I forget, I didn't want to not go back to answering user 63 or 63. Should projectors not tell other people about their plans? No. So this is the best way that I can describe this. It's worth its weight in gold for every single projector that's here, okay? My non-sacrals too, my manifestors and reflectors also, ears should perk up a little bit about this. You guys are the talent, You're meant to be recognized, to feel successful, and to be seen and appreciated, right? And you're probably like, yeah, bitch, that sounds great. But like so many things have happened in my life that has proven to be the opposite. And this is why you guys feel like you have to share your plans before you're ready. It's because you think that other people's excitement or interest in what you're doing is going to fuel more energy to you to keep going on with that project. But what that tells me is that you're not doing things for you. You're doing things for how other people enjoy what it is that you do. When what I teach through this work, and what I think it should highlight more so than it does, especially with my fellow HD readers here on this app, is that we get excited when you're excited about something. That's not just reserved for manifesting generators and generators. You guys are the talent. Every time that Bad Bunny, whoever your favorite artist is, I'm going to say Bad Bunny because I've been listening to him a lot. He's a big one in our household. My fiance's Cuban. When you're listening to Bad Bunny, or when, he's writing a song, does he check in for every single song and release it and ask other people if it's good? No, because he's holding his creative integrity, and he releases the full album when it's ready for public consumption. He knows that he's excited and good at his craft because he's refined that over time, and that's how he gets other people excited. Okay, it's not the other way around, where if you're doing things purely for, thank you so much, purely for the excitement of other people, right? That's how you know that you're probably doing something for recognition only rather than feeling successful recognition. Okay, so that very important. Yeah, I feel you. And it's like, I use that all the time. Like, so for those of you who don't know my lore, and as a manifesting generator, I have a lot of it. But part of my lore drop is that for the beginning of my 20s, I studied art history in college. I graduated, I was like, F this, like, I don't want to sit in a library and write about Roman sculpture. Like, people have been doing that forever. Like, I don't need to, there's nothing new I can contribute that's exciting, and it's not exciting to me. So I took every personality test under the sun, found human design. As I was studying it and practicing it myself for 4 years, running everyone's chart, who would let me to practice, I was working in arts and music management in New York City, in Brooklyn and Manhattan primarily, and also like the South Bronx a little bit, because I also went to school in the Bronx and Manhattan. We had 2 campuses. So what I was doing is, I've always been a creative person because Pisces, but also working with the creative brain, and a lot of my projectors that find me, and just you guys in general, I think everyone that finds me, like, there's a big part of you. Artist Reignite considering too, Mariana and I of Artist Reignite also just had a session about similar to this too. Hi Hadley, welcome. You guys are all creative people, and I think that, thank you Hadley, explaining whatever you're releasing, whatever it comes to a business, content, whatever you want to be recognized for, it's just important to remember that, like, you are in communion with the creative act of that thing. So not even if it's the most like data analyst, like, releasing their website, like, there's still creation that's happening there. And even in the design of your website, the way that people interact with you, those are all energetics that are really important. What I'll say to this, right, as a secondary example, is that if your strategy is to wait for the invitation, you got to get ready, right? There's things you got to get ready and prepare behind the scenes. Like, if you know you're having a party, right, or that someone's inviting you to sing at their party, you still have to practice. You still have to pick the song list. There's preparation that's required of you also behind the scenes, right? It's different for my generators and man-gens. I say those are sacrals versus non-sacrals. So my generators and manifesting generators, I say you guys to me have always felt, hi KC, more like human beings having a spiritual experience, myself is included in that. Whereas my projectors, my manifestors, my reflectors are more so like spiritual beings that teach us more Oonga Boonga humans, so to speak, how to lean into our spirituality. You're welcome, Stephanie. Yeah, I'm here when you're ready. But yeah, so it just other good ways to look at it. And I think it's super helpful for all my projectors, like any of my non-sacrals, like you guys, you're informing the people, my manifestors, like sages, like you're informing the people of what you want us to know, right? And then you're like, here's the link is just ready. Like, my job isn't to make a whole song and dance for you to convince you to connect with me. Ashley, I'll answer that in a second. That's a funny question. I love that. A good funny question. But you don't really care sages if people recognize you or not. You're like, I'm naturally interesting, so like I might as well have a place for you to pay me to do this thing, right? My reflectors, there's like a lot of nuance there. I don't think I have any reflectors here at the moment. So I'll hold that conversation for another time. Again, this recording is also going onto my YouTube channel. So if you guys want this reminder, we're like 30 minutes in, it'll be at the 30-minute marker. If you need the reminder and things that I said in relation to human design and business for projectors, manifestors, look back at that. So just to let you know, I think it's helpful. Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. And remember, so, what you may have missed, user 63, is that Mars in Leo is in gate 33 right now, which is the gate of privacy. So this is our planning phase versus our action phase. Okay, so it's like I'm working behind the scenes. I'm keeping my cadence, but I'm in the middle, right? I'm weathering the healthy storm. So for some of you, my seas are kind of fucked up. Like there's been some days where like the seas have been rough out here, and I think everybody can relate to that in some way, shape, or form. But I'm still keeping my my sails are strong, my boat is strong, I picked the right wood, and so it's navigating that, not so much internally, but external things that I'm navigating from my family perspective and transparency. So, it's possible to compartmentalize and still do the things that you want to do, even when the seas feel a little rough. Oh, Adventure of a Lifetime. It's so funny you said that. That just came up on my Spotify because I was listening to like nostalgic 2010s hits, because my friend Ryan, I have two friends named Ryan, a couple of you have met before. He's my photographer friend. Both I've known since I'm 11 years old, but we've been going back with like old music back and forth because he used to make little CDs for my car when I would drive us around. Yeah, I think things are clicking in my head now since you said, as a Gen, we are living a human experience. Yeah, it's like if we were to break us down into two camps and how I explain my relationship with my projectors and my non-sacral. So my manifestor like Tara, Megan, they're both in my Patreon. I have beautiful Michaela, who's in my Man-Gen Patreon. It was so perfect. You popped up at the right time. Right, I know. My projectors too, Bren being one of my projectors. But through Patreon, it's like I am helping you to ground in the somatic experience of the importance of living on Earth, right? As much as I have to figure out how to say this in a way that's going to keep me on this platform. Zahria, thank you so much. I just saw you booked for Saturday. Okay, yay, thank you. And Michaela, I just saw you booked for tonight. Okay, perfect. So I'll pull your chart up in a second. Thank you. What time? Okay, 8:10. We're 8:03. What the hell was I saying? Oh, so my job as a manifesting generator in facilitating space for my non-sacrals, like my projectors and my manifestors and my reflectors, is teaching you how to make it logical for 70% of the population that you're marketing your service to. Marketing your service, as far as I'm concerned, can also be marketing the desire for a relationship or attracting clients with money. It could be relationship. It could just be what you want to receive from the 3D earth, because this is my gate of the game player. But whether we like it or not, we incarnated at this time when capitalism exists, and it does take money to make the world go round. So thank you so much. How do we navigate that? My non-sacrals are like, can't be bothered. Like, I cannot be bothered. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, you do it for me. And I'm like, I'm going to meet you where you're at, and we'll find this symbiotic relationship. Yes. Yeah, Claire, thank you, Ashley. And thank you for commenting again, because I'll remember to write your Leo rising. Claire sentient, Claire cognizant, Claire audient, clairvoyant. I feel it all. It's my Pisces. Pisces and Scorpio and Aquarius are basically, that's my chart. I have stelliums in all three. So and we're complementary. I get so many, I love a good Leo rising. Would I be greedy to get a reading tonight as well? Yeah, I still do. Absolutely. Whatever you feel comfortable with, I'm here. So I would love to. But I'll bring up Michaela's chart in a second. Yeah, I think that a lot of, I could call myself probably, how people say intuitive astrologers. I follow that vein too. And just intuitive human design reader, especially with the full moon in Scorpio, with my moon there too. Talking about that. Leo risings though, your hair is always noticeable. So it's like whatever feels fun for you is what's fun for us, because it's your hair's illuminated, right? Your aura is illuminated. People see you whether you like it or not. And whether they like it or not, you're going to be perceived. So like, might as well put on a good show. I picture like a color though. Like, were you thinking about doing like a pink or like a pastel? I also saw like braids. I don't know if that is something, or like something active on like the crown too. Yeah, whatever the next time you want to book for. If you want to just pick the next time, that could work. For, I think 8:20 Eastern should be the next available. It'll translate to your time zone. So yeah, I love Leo risings. I love Leo risings. I love Sag risings. I mean, I love all the rising signs in their different ways. Oh no, don't apologize. Yeah, okay. I was like, the scalp feels very, you know what I used today for the first time in a long time is that scalp stimulator. Like it's like a little plastic thing that I got from the drugstore. Wow, I'm dating myself, sounding like a drugstore. From what the heck, Walgreens, like normal people say in 2025. Oh my God. What is the old word? I was gonna say like apothecary. But yeah, it was just funny. Yes, Bren. Libra sun and Aquarius moon and rising as a self-projected 4/6 role model projector in the low sound mountains. I love that. Oh, Leo rising. I love that. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, in gate 7, got to really love me. No, it's so true. But it's like you're meant to shine, and like it just makes so much sense. Like when you have those conversations where you're facilitating spaces. Bring back the apothecary. We need Megan. Megan is here. We need her apothecary. Yeah, I think I answered everyone's question up until this point. I was going to say something else. Yeah, if there's any other questions that I missed, just drop it again. But Sages, yeah, I feel like intuitively, like your time is coming. Like, it just keep doing the work, and like whatever it is that you want to lead people in, or like getting your flowers, I think has been probably something that's really important. It's that like it happens without even you needing to try as hard as it may feel sometimes. You know, I know that you're also a mom, and I think your kids are young too. And there's probably some like helpful activation there with like, I feel like there's a lot of things that you can facilitate too. Yeah, the job search has been tough. I can imagine for a lot of people. Like, I've been helping a couple people with that too. Oh, you did get the Louise Hayes book. Yeah, okay, great. Can you, Tara, remind us of the name of it? Because I don't even remember what the name was. I was like, that Louise Hayes book about the body and the physical manifestation. Yeah, okay, love that. I'm like, what was the title? I don't even, what was I saying? And then I'm going to pivot this. Oh, Heal Your Body. Okay, thank you. Yes, we were talking about that. For anyone who's interested, like the connection between like the psychosomatic experience. That's what we were talking about with that. Let me put on these for a second. Yeah, that's a good one. I heard of it, I think it was through TikTok originally, and someone had like broken down like the chapters, excuse me. Oh, I wish I never. Hold on, stand by. I'm just pulling up Michaela's chart because we'll pivot over to her in a minute. Okay. I'm going to pull up your natal chart too, Michaela, so that way we can scroll through, like we'll all have both up next to me so I can bounce back and forth, because from one manifesting generator to another, you know how it is. Yeah, okay, perfect, yeah. Yeah, now I'm trying to figure out. Oh, yes, the Jethro Kloss one. If I can find it, Tara, if you have any, I'm gonna be at my parents' house on Monday. So if you want to take a picture, or if you want me to take a picture of anything in there, it's really good. It's like basically you can look up any element that you have and like go through, like a natural healing modality for educational purposes only. Tara, you can walk us through if you wanted to do a book club. I feel like you would be the perfect person to do that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to pivot. This is still a lo-fi playlist, but it's actually copyright-free house music on Spotify, because it allows me to not have to take out the music when I upload this onto YouTube. Big brain over here. So from somebody who may be cross-posting and doesn't want to get copyright infringement, noticing that. I would love to be part of an astrology or human design book club. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I'll keep that in mind and see how that manifests. It's been in my ether for a while, or in the ether for a while. So we'll hold on to that. I'm just going to put a pin in that and now to pivot over to Michaela here for the next 10 minutes that she has paid me for my time. She's actually in my Patreon. So you get a 10-minute reading. Thank you. A 10-minute reading complimentary as a part of your membership. It's only $22 a month for those of you who want to look into that separately whenever you're ready. But we were talking about, for you, Michaela, your question was, what's the best way to incorporate my chart to enhance my career people skills this month with the full moon passing through my third house and being in my unconscious moon? That's a beautiful question. So if we're looking at third house in general, right? There is an essence or a connection. It's funny because I'm going to start from the bottom. It's funny, I started from the bottom, now we're here. Hi, Abigail. Siblings coming into play. That felt important for me to say that, like something about siblings. I don't know if you are a sibling, if you have siblings, but maybe that's something that's important. But also like communication, right? Yeah, exactly. Now we're here. Communication, you know, what would be cool, and I think would be a helpful expansion and evolution because I've been following your journey in content creation, is adding to your videos, the videos that you've been doing with skincare. Yeah, and that's fine. Maybe it's more so just this essence of like, well, who are the people that make you feel like a kid again? Like, who are the people that actually get you excited to post? Like, you have really good people in your comments that are like hyping you up and like are supportive of you. And maybe it's just kind of this emphasis on chosen family, right? Communicating with the people that I actually F with, you know? With the activation of the full moon illuminating your third house, it can just be like, where can you maybe do voiceovers for those get ready with me videos or like your skincare videos, right? Like just start to incorporate your voice and feel comfortable. I think also for you, there's great power. With great power comes great responsibility. But there's great power in you creating some sort of flow and structure between what you're teaching people, or being like maybe refining your message in like what people are coming to you for. I'm just gonna write your time marker down here so when I post this on YouTube I have it. We're about 40 minutes in. Like what? Michaela. Okay, so you have that. So that being important, because what you also have, as you know, is like when we're looking at like, well, what's the archetype of the third house? You have a Capricorn Mercury in gate 38. So it's like, what do you want to fight for? But that fighting doesn't mean like you have to get on like battle people on TikTok, but it's like, what do you want to, yeah, I'll help you with that in a second. Like, what do you want people to learn from you? It literally can be something as simple as like getting disciplined about skincare. It doesn't have to be like, how do I square up with people on the internet? You know, like we don't have to take the gate of the fighter. Like, so literally, although you could, it's like, okay, but at the end of the day, like, is that actually like what I want to be recognized for? Also because like Libra 10th house MC, right? It's your MC as well, if I'm not, yeah, or what degree I should say. 2 degrees. Okay. Yeah. Even more so. It's like you want balance, you want structure, you want some creativity. But to read your question out loud, because this chat won't be on YT. Yes, I'm confused on how I should navigate, what I should respond to, and what I should keep until I'm prepped. So same applies for you as what I said earlier to my projectors. It's like, what is one kind of series? Like if you were just for the next week or 1 week at a time, if you were to create a series, right? Or something that's a red thread that runs through all your pieces of content. And a lot of what you should do too is begin with the end in mind. Like as a 3-5, you're perfect for content creation and can share different pillars of your life. But it's like when you become really well known for one thing, and again, really well known, there's also 7 people here, can just be 7 posts in a row, 7 days in a row, 1 post a day, so that people know like, well, what am I here for? Right? And the reason we have to be more refined about that than we had to in years past is that there's a lot of people that are competing from airtime, but there's not a lot of people who like, hi Sam, how are you? It's good to see you again. Nice to see you. Welcome. I'm just reading from Michaela at this moment. Hi Neutrino Radio. But what is it that you want to be known for now, right? For this season, if you were to just kind of have like a specific goal for the spring and for the summer, what does that look like for you as Michaela? And maybe that is like, okay, do you want to work with brand partnerships? And there's a specific cadence, a specific way of editing that you want to tailor where you're teaching other people your views and the people that you're in connection with are important. I do, Sam. Yes, absolutely. I'm here. Link in his usual spot. Thank you. But it's like, what is it that I as Michaela want to put out there that feels like it's aligned with if I'm turning up the dial on the North Star of brand partnerships versus am I turning up the dial on just building connections with people and figuring out, well, I like people on this app, but like who are the people that like really like me and what I have to share and do? There's different ways you could go about it. I have my one client that's a Libra sun, actually, and Pisces moon. So some interesting like overlap of you being a Libra, Aquarius moon. Yeah, a couple things I was gonna say with that. And I think I said, what did I say? Libra. I said Libra earlier. Libra 2nd house, but your Gemini 10th house. Sorry about that. I think I spoke too fast for my own good. Story of my life. But all that to say, when we're looking and thinking about like, what's the end goal in mind? Oh, there you go. Libra sun, Pisces moon. That's funny. So with that client, she is working with TikTok shop pretty much exclusively. That's a niche in and of itself. However, long term, it can be teaching her things that are specific for her chart, but there's interesting. I am of the varietal of teaching you guys skills that are transferable to all different platforms and different modalities, but are still at the alignment or core of who you are as an individual, right? So it's like, to me, it can be good for a while. There's definitely a skill set there. It's like connecting your people. But it's like, if you want to focus on a niche where maybe TikTok shop is a part of it, but as a manifesting generator, there's some different ways or red threads that run through all the different offerings or different platforms that you're on. I'm also pro like that mindset, especially for my manifesting generators. To be fair, that person is, hi Baloo, welcome, is a generator. So at this time for her transits, it works for her, but it's not a one size fits all methodology. Hi Laura. So again, to highlight and emphasize your specific question about like enhance my career and people skills this month with the full moon passing through your 3rd, it's being disciplined about your script and maybe coming up with some outline or some flow chart or just like descriptions of like, what is it that I actually want people to take away from whatever they're consuming with my posts, and starting to incorporate your words into it, right? Because if I look at your human design body graph and we're looking at your throat, you do also have gate 33 there, which is the gate of privacy, but you're learning like I can still share good informational content with people and be open with them, but I don't have to go on the internet and start crying about every problem that I've ever had. And that's the only way to be like a valid influencer. Like if we look at, she's a manifester, but if we think about Trisha Paytas, for example, like I think she's a really good example of this. Like for her placements and her being a manifester at her core, it's good for her to be a more polarizing presence. Like it's in her nature as a manifest, as a, let me see. Okay. Zahria, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'll pivot over. I started at 8:11. I'll start at 8:21 for you. Just while I'm finishing up with Michaela here. But yeah, what's also being activated for you, Michaela, is that we have our Aries Mercury. I was mentioning this yesterday in live, actually. Aries is in Mercury in gate 42, which is your Jupiter. So there's, okay, yay, Sam, thank you. There's a dial that's turned up on that channel of maturation that you have that connects your sacral to your root. And so what this is doing is really explaining or describing your content. And I've introduced the talking point or the hook. Here's the meat of what I have to say. Here's the call to action. in your content. There's highlights through this month from full moon to full moon with those true transits specifically for a channel that you already have activated. So if we're talking about that, you know, and your Jupiter in the conjunct our Mercury right now, our Aries Mercury, getting towards its later degrees, that can be an amplifier for you too. So creating a specific script. Oh, I love that dragon. Thank you. A specific script for like, here's the hook. There's plenty of people. There's a girl that I don't remember her name. I want to say her name is Sarah with an H. And I'll randomly see her like over the years on my For You page, but her hair is like half orange, half like a really cool like yellowish blonde, and she'll do like give you hooks to use. So incorporating that in your content to help people, especially Scorpio, is like highlighting a transformation to people. That can be really good for you too. Like she has given you the hook. How do you apply it to your niche for what you want people to know from you? And then what's the call to action of what you want people to know? And hi, Noel. And that can be something super simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Maybe it's just like, you don't have to say anything at the end for like, it doesn't have to be like a like, follow, subscribe, share. It's like, if your content is good enough, which I know it is, and you pass it through that lens, like people are going to want to follow you for that anyway. Maybe it's like, you know, May skincare madness or something like that, right? You know, I love alliteration, so work with that. Oh yeah, okay, amazing. Yeah, planning a content day. Do the planning and the filming on 2 separate days. Your nervous system will thank you. So thank you for letting me read for you. I appreciate you. And I'm just gonna bring up Zahria's chart, or Zahria. You'll have to correct me phonetically on our reading when I meet with you for your long one. Yeah, thank you, Michaela. Let's see. Yeah, I've been getting all of my Geminis, which I love. It's been so fun. Okay. Oh, Daria. Okay, perfect. Zahria. Okay, thank you. Okay. And Deanna, who's one of my other projectors, who will pop in and out. She actually has the same exact birth time as you. Making sure it's the right place. Okay. And then here. Okay. So any advice for getting out of a rut? Yeah, and tapping into success. I know there's a channel in my chart that says the ruts will come and go, but I don't know how to use that to my benefit and be happier in my day-to-day. I think that pretty much what I channeled, and let me pivot. So we are at about 53 minutes in. So that'll be on YouTube. I forgot that's how it shows. Oh, that's that show. Oh yeah, it's Zahria. Okay, thank you. Zahria, thank you, Zahria. My name's Brenna, even though it's not super complicated. I just like to confirm because, you know the struggle. But just looking at your chart here. So this is the ruts and the plateaus, right? Accurate for your placements because these hold some melancholic energy, this channel. The 60 and the 3 are a unique combination, basically meaning that like when you're going through a process of transformation, I just want to validate for you the fact that you understand and you identify the fact that you are in a rut is where you already are like 10 steps ahead of the curve for where most people are. So just the fact that you know, like I am in a rut, I feel like that there's a little bit of this rut happening right now for me. It's a little bit slower. Like that is, you're doing better than more than 50% of the population. Okay. So paying attention to that is important. Now, what is important in this moment is to focus on your 3 emotional waves. Okay, so you know that you're an emotional authority in human design. Hi, Afro, welcome back. You know that you're an emotional authority. The reason you're emotional authority is because you have the 59-6 channel, the 40-37 channel, and the 36-35 channel. I want to go right for this guy, but I'm going to go right for this guy first because I know that this is probably intuitively what's also keeping you a little bit stuck. If people won't do it with you, do it alone is really important for this placement. This is like a roller coaster emotional wave where it's like you have this excitement. You maybe want to do things with other people. You want people to be as excited and passionate about the things that you want to do. Or maybe you want to get on the ride with other people who are as excited and passionate about the things that they want to do. But it's like we each have our own seatbelt on the airplane or on the ride for a reason, right? We may be in the same seat, but we still have an own specific seat that we're supposed to stay in. We're not sitting on anyone's lap on, choose your scariest roller coaster here, right? So what this teaches us with kind of like sitting through the rut and a couple things that like I can maybe intuit that are happening is that like there's frustration with the environment and other people around you that aren't able to have the same capacity or depth that you do for the things that you like to do. And what this is also tied to because of your 4037 channel is that the family that you maybe live with, grew up with, your nuclear family or your origin family is very different. Yeah, girl, is very different than you. You can't look to your parents or your guardians or whomever, the people that raise you and be like, well, help me. Like, how do you figure this out? They're like, I don't fucking know. Like, they don't know, right? And you can love them and still talk to them, right? Everyone's family is different. I do get a lot of people that like don't really associate with their origin family that have this placement. Not everybody, but it's not uncommon like for people with this placement to be no contact or just have some sort of like strife in that relationship. And so the 4037 channel teaches you through one person at a time sustainably for your nervous system, how to trust your chosen family. I also see this a lot. Well, I get a lot of people also because in Placidus, I have a lot of ninth house activity. People who are first generation immigrants to this country. My fiance is an immigrant to this country. He's originally from Cuba. All of my previous partners have been from other countries or first generation, which is funny. Didn't plan that, but that's how the cookie crumbled, right? So like I can see this from like their lived experience, but also like what's valid. My dad also has this placement too. And so he figured out a lot of things on his own. So what is important is to know when to ask for help with people who may not be your family of origin or even your immediate friends, but people who are skilled in the area that you want to excel in. So even if it's like going on YouTube and watching people that are well educated in a subject that you also have a passion for, or just have a life that you want to live that is not part of your present, but there may be a little bit of like yearning for that lifestyle because you know that future you has access to it. And I don't say that as like shoving spiritual rhetoric, like, into the atmosphere for you and everyone else here, but because it really is true for your placements, especially because you have a completely undefined, or you have an undefined G center with only Taurus gate 2 here. We're currently going through a transit with this placement, which is why you feel antsy about being in a rut, because this is saying like, well, I want to be receptive. I know something is coming and I want to be prepared for it, but I'm in this rut, so I may not be prepared. But the rut and relaxing during this moment is crucial so that your nervous system and whatever you do to prepare at this time, because it's also it's your Venus sign, it's your Taurus Venus here, is like creating that slow and steady wins the race pace. As a Taurus Venus person and somebody with 3 emotional waves, it's okay that it takes you a little bit more time to process and understand what your next step is going to be. And whether, define root, whether you like it or not, right? Or whether other people like it or not, no one's going to make you move before you want to move as a person, right? So it's just a matter of figuring out like, okay, and what this transit is teaching us with what I said to riff off Michaela's reading as well, the channel of maturation that we all are feeling because of the current transits right now with human design and astrology, is that there's this pivot towards like, okay, let me identify where I'm at in this rut. I know I've been in ruts before. I know I've had emotional waves before. When I look back into the past or even kind of assess my present, did this crisis or this rut just happen? Am I in the middle, or like, am I towards like the end or ending this thing within like a day or two intuitively? And really taking a moment to realize that the authority lies within you. You know you best for your cycles and to trust that, right? So it's a matter for you of just figuring out, well, who are the people that can give me this is what your Capricorn moon really likes, especially with gate 54. Like this is a good way for you to assess and understand like what the next clear path is based on how you feel intuitively and what you want that to be. That's how you tap into success, is because when you know that you're in an on period and that rut isn't happening at that moment, but for a fact that ruts happen and what goes up comes back down again and everything is a circle, that allows you to unapologetically lean in when you have the energy, the time, and the resources. And also, right, like if you were somebody who were to do like gig work, like say you're a creative person that's like a videographer, and you know that you're going to be, you're going to be really busy during like 6 months of the year. Like now is the start of the wedding season. Sam, I just am a minute over. So I'll start at like a minute and 30 seconds after photographer. Yeah. So it's like time, right? You're like, okay, maybe I want to do, at wedding seasons, maybe it's graduation. Hi, Blue Heron, welcome. Maybe it's graduation. Like what is it that I am in that phase of now? And then for every, chunk that I make, say for every $500 to $1,000 somebody pays me for a gig, or $4,000, whatever for a wedding, what's money that I can put aside from that and get myself into the habit for the rainy day fund? That's also going to build a lot of trust with your Taurus gate too. And I'm literally talking about this like in Patreon right now. I'm just going to flip my camera as I pivot to Sam. That is really big for building trust with yourself, to know that you've got you at the end of the day to carry yourself through that rut moving forward. It's just like allowing yourself to rewrite the money narrative, especially as a creative person. Like as fast as the money comes into my account, it has to go out just as quickly to bills. That's where you need to flex that muscle of doing that reserve. Or if you're somebody that experiences depressive cycles and you can't work, and that's something that you need to pay attention to because it's a struggle to get out of bed in the morning. That's a very real thing. And maybe there's the rainy day fund that's appropriate. Put that money in a high yield savings account that makes money for you, even if it's a little bit, sometimes at $27 worth of, interest that is in a high yield savings account is going to be something that allows you to pay a bill, right? And then you can break it down in a way that's more manageable. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that I've said at this time that will, thank you. I'm glad you found me too. And we'll talk in a longer session too. So like, trust me, I'm very good at helping my creative people stay booked and busy. Cause I'm also a creative person that has done that over the course of the last 10 years of my life throughout my 20s, and has made a lot of mistakes that I can help you outsmart. So just some other things that I'll leave you with. And again, this reading is on YouTube, recording is on YouTube. So you guys will see that as well as I bring beautiful Samantha's chart up too, who is also going through a career crisis and a pivot. I will say this, that a lot of people, and I think Sam, it's like I'm picking up what you're putting down automatically, is that it's like, wow, the world is so crazy and the job market is so crazy that I might as well be like crazy enough to pursue my dreams, because like, why not? Like, why the fuck not me? And that's, a lot of people are feeling that. And then Sam, I have your birth date and your birth location. I just need your birth time. That's the only thing that I don't have here in front of me. So let me put in your time or your location, as you're dropping your time. That's okay. Yeah. 10:19. Okay, cool. Thank you. AM. Okay. And then let me look here. So over the last few weeks, I felt like my job is not aligned with me. And over the last few days, I feel like I should just up and quit with no safety net or savings. I've had vivid visuals of this happening. And I feel like my ego is starting to separate from me. And I feel like I'm going crazy in the most spiritual way possible. I feel that. Yes, Afro, especially your sacral. I'm just going to do this reading for Sam, and then no one has booked right after her at this moment. And then I can answer your question with the proper container to hold that answer, because that's a very good question. So let me pivot here. Hello, Irish medium. How are you? I'll say sláinte from one Irish girlie to another. But for beautiful Sam, just for the next 10 minutes of my undivided attention to her and transitioning. So there's a couple things here. If you know, and there kind of is some, there's two ways that this can go, right? So right now, Aries is having, oh, there you go, thank you. Aries is having its moment where it is creating a lot of activation of like impulses when it comes to quickly aligning with our opinions and our values. Now, because you're a generator, I'm going to offer you the dichotomous A or B, black or white approach that we really love. And it's asking yourself black or white, A or B, yes or no questions. You do have a couple Capricorn placements, which is where I'll say that Capricorn does not like to question where its money is coming from. especially if you're a creative person that wants to start pursuing a creative venture. If you have a safety net that like could be another partner that's a safety net, or like somebody where like you can kind of maybe apply for unemployment or something that's at least going to help you. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah. So it's like, what is kind of the offering that you can create? Something that I can speak to experience that I wish that I did is, instead of quitting, like mentally just doing your job like with less intensity to preserve your energy when you got home, right, for the day. Because you need to do a little bit of market research to give yourself some other things to respond to. And listen, it can just be a matter of like, you're still going to quit your job, but maybe it's just like a week of time, or you can like kind of mentally quiet quitting as you pivot over into what you're supposed to be doing instead. Like, it sounds like you already have a creative venture or whatever it is. Yeah, I know, but I can't because, okay, yeah. So it's like, if you're somebody that is at that role, it's like if the job doesn't get done, like you're screwed. Yeah. And it just sounds like there was a lot of pressure. It's like probably because you wanted to be really good at the job, like probably a little bit of people pleasing and not wanting to, a lot of identity falling in with that too, because you're undefined G center. Oh, I love that. Okay, cool. There was there's a woman that was posting like her ASMR slime business, and she literally talked about like how she made money. If anyone is in that vein, you may even know her, Sam. Like she was in Hawaii on vacation and she was doing a vlog about it. Just type in like ASMR day in my life, or get creative with like the ASMR slime thing. And I feel like that could help. That could help. Are you perpetual ASMR on YouTube? Is that you? Because you have numbers there. That's not nothing. If you're the correct account that I'm thinking of. Oh, okay. Okay, I have another ASMR account that was following me for a while. So I was like, okay, whose accounts? Okay. Oh, only on TikTok. Okay, yeah. And maybe that's like thinking about like, how are other people doing it and making money? Like, do your market research for this week just to give you that mental out, or like that mental relief of like, what is my plan of attack going to be? Again, because if you didn't have any Capricorn placements, I wouldn't be as concerned. My fear is like that relief will come, and then what's going to happen is that like fear of inadequacy is going to come in, and you're going to be like, oh my God, like what did I do? Like, I don't have a safety net. I don't have a savings. Like, I don't even have much credit to work with where like I can put a mortgage or a rent payment on my credit card. Like if you had like a, 3 months of flexibility. Yeah. So it's not that what you're feeling is wrong, right? That's good data that's telling you and to listen to your sacral, and that a move has to happen sooner rather than later. Especially because of the full moon happening. Like, it's making everybody even more like feeling more crazed than they already do, right? Especially you're a Pisces moon, like you feel that. And also gate 36 Pisces moon. So you pick up on other people's crises, and then you get the people in the break room when you're trying to have lunch by yourself that are like talking to you about other people in the office. And you're like, I literally don't care. Like, I don't have energy for this. Like, I care because I feel bad for you as a person, but like, I literally just want to eat my food. I had worked in a call center for a little bit in my early 20s, which is how I met my fiance. And I literally would just get up and go eat in my car and like pull it so that I was like facing the street so that like no one could even see me. Cause I literally would have people like coming up and knocking on my window to like vent about things that happened at work. Like Pisces moons, Pisces placements, Aquarius placements, like that shit is very real. So not to diminish that, in the last couple minutes we have together, just kind of highlighting like what are some next things that you can do. Again, market research. How are people who do ASMR, what are the platforms or what are their links to calls to action? Are there people that have YouTube channels? Do they sell slime? Do they have an OnlyFans, right? Like there's no shame in the game. Like do what you want to do, but like look at in people's like the links in the bios of people who are like really big in ASMR, or like, like a kind of like an expander for you of somebody who shows you what's possible. That's a really great way to spicy ASMR. Listen, if you make it, they will come. I'll just leave it at that. There's double entendre in that meaning. We could follow that lens here. But yeah, so all that to say, it's like, where are other people going as a result of that, right? what are other people selling? You also have Gate 45, so it's like, where do you want to direct people? Like, what do you want to be known for? You also have that 5611. I don't know, like, I've been reading A Court of Thorns and Roses and that whole series for the first time. Just intuitively and based on this, I think that you would be really, there's something about your content that probably, yeah, Noel, that would do well in the romantasy space of like book talk. Like, I feel like you just have that, like, something with ASMR. Like, there's definitely an overlap there. Maybe it's ASMR with books, right? And there's different novels or something like that. And then maybe you can pick a character. I don't know if you've read A Court of Thorns and Roses, but maybe, there's like a Tamlin ASMR. Maybe there's like a Feyre ASMR. I don't know if anyone else has read them, but like, it would just be funny because there's so much of an overlap there. It's like Pride and Prejudice meets Game of Thrones, all of those things. Yeah, Noel, there you go. I love that. So you're already incorporating that. But yeah, so just some other things to kind of think about for you, Sam. Like, just, it's totally fine to do that. But, oh, yay. Oh, Zahria, thank you so much for joining our Patreon. I'm so excited to have you there. Yay, thank you. I'm excited for a longer reading. I just wanted to make sure as I was finishing up with Sam, I wasn't yapping over somebody else's reading here. But yeah, Sam, let me know if you have any follow-up questions to that as I pivot and answer Afro's question, who is a beautiful patient projector. And so, yeah, that way, just some more practical steps for you. Your Virgo Venus also just caught my eye, where it's like people value the way that you think about things. So maybe there's some, like, I don't know, some writing, Substack, like something else that can kind of help you in that way. Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to it. Thank you so much. I'm excited for you. And listen, go with your gut always. You're a sacral authority from one sacral to another. It's just, there's a little bit of a slight pause that we still need to take as sacral authorities, just to be like, okay, I just need to make sure that my action is giving me the most bang for my buck so I don't lose that sacral steam and I can keep up with that. But yeah, I'm gonna go let me see if I can find Afro's comment as well. Okay, just to pin it for my projectors. So I have a lot of empty places or empty shapes, right? In the lower areas of my human design chart, common with projectors. Yes, so automatically, hi Malia, like Malia, my beautiful projectors, the second square up from the bottom is your sacral center or your sacral chakra, or people will say sacral as well. There's a couple different ways that you can spin it, but we're all talking about the same thing. And all projectors are going to have that energy center undefined. Now, the circuitry for the rest of the energy centers around there can kind of change a little bit. So there's some people that have like the spleen to the root projectors that define that square that's off to the left-hand side, as well as the root, splenic projectors. Sometimes I have people that those are the only two. I had a mentee this past summer that only had those two centers defined. Everything else was open or undefined, meaning it was white in their chart. So we see a little bit of that variety too. Time mention, I'm going to be on for another like 15 minutes and then I'll close out at 9 Eastern Standard Time, because I was saying I'm not a morning girly and I have an early morning tomorrow. So just to time keep myself, and then I'll rate the minute markers for Zahria, Michaela, and Samantha for you in the YouTube video that I'll post of this, so YouTube recording. Same handle, Brenna's here on YouTube. And then that was 8:30, yeah. But yeah, so common, at least it's always my projectors are always going to have an undefined sacral, so it's just a matter of like working with your circuitry outside of that. That's interesting. So yeah, absolutely. If you want to book for 8:50, for sure. Let me go ahead. Yeah, it's open, so go ahead and do that. And then we can go from there, so I can help you kind of get started. I feel like our last reading, like there was so much more I wanted to say. But like I feel like there's still more that we have to work with. So we're finishing our unfinished business. Who just popped? Oh, Judes. Hello, Judes. Thank you. Yeah, very off topic, but everyone should. I make my vision board on a canvas, or should I tape it to my wall? I like taping it to the wall. I think because then you can move it around, and sometimes like canvas is a little more complex. I don't know. The paper just what intuitively felt right. Oh, I saw your video about Gate 2 earlier. Like, I wished for it. Yes. Okay, that's great. I'm glad. That's grand. My Irish medium connection coming through, channeling the Irish side. But yeah, I'm so glad that you liked it. I've been posting the transits for. I've been doing the whole gate series, and about like everyone has different gates that follow one of the 6 profile lines. And so I've been processing. Irish medium, do you live in Ireland currently? Are you of Irish descent, or are you first generation? Are you an immigrant to this country? What is your heritage? My people are from Roscommon and Galway, so nice city folk. If you're familiar, I don't know where I find you in your Irishness, but a lot of days I feel like if I had a brogue, like my personality makes even more sense for people. But yeah. Yeah, Saturn and Mars in Gate 2. Felt that the last couple days. Yes, yes. Oh, Boston, Galway. I love Galway. Oh my gosh, I would live there too. I would live there too. I'm just gonna start a little bit early with Noel here, just for the sake of time, so we can have like a proper close. I am though just gonna block off my time just so I don't leave and somebody gave me their money, just to make sure. So that's always important. Yes. Okay, there we go. I just wanted to update my availability. Yeah, okay, literally in a Pisces wave today. I love this. Yeah, I love the Irish Riviera, south of Boston. Yes, this is perfect. Okay, great. Oh, wow, family from Galway, 3rd generation on my mother's side. Oh my gosh, there you go. I love that. Yeah, my mom could have had the opportunity for dual citizenship, and she always said that it was like wasted on her because like I'm so much more of like the adventurer in the family. My dad also, I've been to Ireland 4 times and met my family on both sides. But yeah, it's just funny. Let's see. Intuit, Pisces, baby Pisces girly. Oh, I love you. Just flowing with the water sign waves today. Okay, so intuitively, I also yes, I know, I'm very blessed. I want to go back to what you wrote last, Noel. Just because I feel like there were other things that I wanted to say. Oh, okay. So the thing that had been coming to me for you that I've been thinking about specifically, Noel, was also like a lack of recognition and appreciation for you. So a couple things. And I know I talked about this like a long time ago. And if you felt like people had been sleeping on you when it comes to content. Now, this is where it's a thin line of like what intuitively feels good for you and vibes, and how we have to kind of work with the platform, even if we don't like all of the elements of the platform. So your font on your videos, right? I'm somebody who takes the time to read what you have to say, but it is still hard to read it. Like in that, it's a beautiful white script, but on TikTok, whenever you post, it also compresses the video a little bit. So it leans towards grainy. So not to say, again, you're going to have people like me that care about you, that invest in you, that want to read what you have to say, and it can be a stylistic, energetic choice. Now, if we're using this platform and looking to connect to a lot of people, and this is good for anyone who's creating content right now, but there's a couple things that are happening in the atmosphere. A lot of Aries energy right now. So a lot of people are impatient with not willing to take the time to learn the knowledge. Now, that's also up for you to use your discernment. Do I want to tap into those people and give them the opportunity to kind of crack their heart open to work with them in that way, even in their impulsiveness? Do I want to be, as Noel, the person that helps bring them down? I selfishly think that you're the perfect person for that, but it's what feels good for you at this time and your beautiful Leo rising qualities. Like, is that something that feels aligned for you to do with this venture? And remembering that, like, the easier you make it for people to see what you have to say on the video, any written words, that's going to be a better kind of flow, right? If you're looking to cast a wider net on this platform, because people are running out of patience, essentially. Sam is there with her job, right? Everyone's kind of in there losing patience. I think if we had to encapsulate the energy at this point, it was like, where are you losing patience? What are you losing patience for in your life right now? Is it people sleeping on you? Is it like, lack of recognition? Is it, whatever it is? Yeah, that's good. And I think like for your energy, people don't realize how bold you actually are. Like anyone who, like in a quick, like, it's like they come in for one thing and they find peace in you, but that they realize that you actually have a lot of, it's funny because I don't know why the word integrity is coming to me intuitively. I think that's obvious, but maybe you've been struggling with people like not, especially the blessing and the curse of Leo risings or Cancer risings is that like people don't always see what's actually there. I also hear the phrase like selling people what they want, but giving them what they need. So it's like, I know how to intuitively talk to you, right? But I'm actually gonna, like, I'll use an example of how I did this. I did a whole series about, and a lot of content about Saturn returns, but I am not going to play into your Saturn return has to be terrible and all these bad things are gonna happen, right? There's a lot of people who capitalize on spiritualism and astrology and make it to be like, two things can be true at the same time. There are, bad things can happen to good people on any given day. But if, we don't play into too much of that predictiveness about like, because there's so much free will and so many things that are changing so quickly right now, especially with the transits, just energetically, that volatility is very present. What else? Let me read here too. There was something else I wanted to say. It's funny, because we talked a lot about diet last time. And I think I answered that question to completion too, when it comes to diet and eating. Mars return. Yeah, generating lots. I know the Mars energy will be making a grand cross during the new moon. Yeah, in Taurus with Lilith, Mars, Pluto, and the moon, sun. Where I already have a grand cross in my angles. Yeah, okay. So already having that, yeah, I've been feeling that. I think that in general for me, that people see me, like I'm so calm and sweet, but I have lots of fire. It's so true. Like I love, like, I've seen it in you. Like the best way I can describe it is like your voice is so like angelic and sweet. And you'll just be looking at people like, for real? Like, what are you talking about? Like you'll be like flipping your car. Like I've just seen it in your like face, like in your vibes. Like, yeah, I think that you're just calling in like a higher level of people, like people who are really asking for you, the universe, and be like, you put this desire on my heart to help people, but I need you to send me people that are actually willing to do the work. That's going to be really important right now. Hi, Hurricane. Yes, sounds good. I'll be here for another few minutes. Yeah, I'm going to do, I have about like 6 minutes left with Noel here. And then we'll close out. Yeah. Oh, okay. I literally just scripted to call in the right client. So you've already done it, right? Just affirmation of the universe through me, to confirm that. And I think being like, you put this desire on my heart. You made me the conduit for this and I'm open and I'm answering the call. But like, you send me the right people. Like I'm asking for help here. And I think there's been a lot of energy, even in my life for being a little bit more forceful. Exactly. A little bit more forceful with asking the universe for help or leaning on people who high vision, who try to get away with doing as little work as possible. And it's like, we're not riding anyone's coattails anymore, right? Those coattails are going to fall apart like a pair of thrift store shoes that have dry rot. All right. Like here's the store, here's where I got it from. Right. But it's like, ultimately you have to do the work. Yeah. And I think that unfortunately, especially because of where we are in the world, people actually do respond to that forcefulness because, and it's a balance where there's people who are also need to be yelled at to get that, like, there's people who are into that, right? On multiple different levels. Like they like people who are spicy and yell at them and whip them into shape. It's like a basketball coach, right? It's like, I think of my soccer coach, Coach Anastasia. I'll never forget him. And I was 5 playing soccer. It's funny because my team name was Galaxy. So I'm like, it's funny how those red threads run through into what I'm doing now. And he was so firm, but he was nice, right? And there's also some things that can happen with that too, that I feel just kind of called to share in this and my intuitiveness, since you've given me the grace and the go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. Because I see how people respond differently. Yes. You're like, damn, like this is what it took. I had to be pushed to this for you to listen to me, right? Like I can do confrontation, right? I can do confrontation. You have Mars in your ascendant too, right? Yeah, you have Mars in your ascendant too, like I do. It's like, I can be confrontational. We can duke it out, you know, with our words, right? I'm not into the physical aspects of that, right? But it's like, I still lead with an open heart, but it's like the second you come for me, like, don't be surprised when I come back for you, right? Like, this is symbiotic here. And sometimes, like, you guys have seen in some of my readings where, like, if the energy is different between people, my tone shifts based on the type of reader that's on a mutable sign, right? Especially for Noel too, you're very intuitive, Sag Sun, mutable. Like, what version of me do people need to receive this message? Because my job is to be a conduit to, like, make it land with this person. Even just the one nugget that they need. That's just good advice for any spiritual person, but especially as somebody that's a Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, or a Sagittarius sun. Pisces sun, Noel is a Sag sun. It's leaning into that. That's where what Ash was reflecting earlier. Thank you to Ash, another beautiful Leo rising. Like the clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, like leaning into those clairs, because that helps you, right? And then some people who may be super fixed or who don't get this type of work or they haven't done it are like, well, why is she so different? Like, why does this person get this and this person gets that? It's because that's what that person needed at this time. You know, it's like in a spiritual reading, like, we're not going to channel Uncle Jerry just because you want to talk to him if Grandpa Joe is coming through, right? Like, we're going to talk to who we're going to talk to. I'm not going to just make shit up because it doesn't make sense, right? So it's like some operating with integrity in that way. The fire can burn at different levels. Yeah. Warm, nourishing. Exactly. Like, we're warming our hands, but if you try to grab the fire, don't get mad when you get burned, right? Don't get mad when there's, you know, some scars and burns on the palms. Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's just like a little push of that, like where, like it's funny because I forgot that you also play soccer, you and your husband. I just got that visual of like your cleats and your indoor like turf. It's interesting, turf too. It's like you're on your turf. Like you can cover your turf. Like your turf means something. And to not let people take that away from you. Like, what do you have to do to protect your turf? Is it writing? Is it like, yeah. Oh, it's so funny. My last team this winter was Galaxy. More synchronicities. I was thinking of you because I don't know where you live in New York. But I drove out to Glen Cove to meet one of my mentees, and her name is Rachel Flynn. I did an amazing, content for her. If I do say so myself, I filmed her and I mic'd her up, and we did, she's a projector, that did an 8-week accelerated mentorship program with me. And, she's in Glen Cove, essentially. So I passed the sign for your place of birth, and I was like, I wonder if Noel is out here. And then I was like, I'll have to come back, and then maybe we can do like a little meetup in that area. So yeah, that's so funny. Okay. Yes. So we'll just manifest that for the summer. But I love like connecting with my people, like in person. Like it's special because if we can, you know, after COVID, especially, it's like remembering that still exists. But yeah, exactly. That's where I go to school. Okay, Mineola. Okay, perfect. Yes. I didn't want to say the official name out loud just for the respect of your privacy. If you wanted to share or not. I mean, save space. I feel comfortable with the people here, but yeah. Yeah, okay, perfect. So maybe that's the next step. And like, I don't know, maybe we can do something together in real life. That would be fun. Especially because, listen, I've driven all over creation in the Northeast, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. Like I'm comfortable with that. So, yeah, but thank you, Noel. I'm excited. We'll continue to be continued. And obviously audio message on Instagram, you know where to find me. Noel's in my generator Patreon. So yeah, so I'm excited for you. All the 5s too. Yeah, absolutely. East Coast soccer girlies for sure. For sure. Just like this special, we're all a little bit more aggressive. Yeah, I'm working, but I'm still here. Okay, yes. Did you hear me answer your your projector question with the undefined centers in the bottom? I was talking about the undefined sacral. Let me know. And then hurricanes and Afro, if you have a follow-up question, let me know. Okay, perfect. Okay. Or you didn't hear it. Oh, I thought you meant like you didn't have another question. But yeah, and Hurricane, if you want to drop your question in so I can answer you and you can close us out. And then I will be back on... What is it? I'll be back Tuesday morning on YouTube Live at 11 a.m. Will probably be my start time, maybe 11:30, 12 the latest, for a body doubling co-working session. It's our new walk and work sessions over there. And then I'll be back on YouTube Live doing readings Wednesday night at 7:30, and then back here 7:30 Eastern. So Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Us like playing soccer as we're like just planning to do all the spiritual stuff. I love that. Thank you, Noel. I'm excited. Just Afro for your question. So the second square from the bottom is your sacral. Every projector is going to have that undefined. The other undefined centers, like you can have an undefined sacral, but as a projector, you could still have your spleen, your root, and your solar plexus defined. But it just won't be connected to your sacral. Because all manifestors, projectors, and reflectors have that second square from the bottom that's white or undefined or open. So just a little kind of cheat. But you can, if you have a lot of openness, that just tells me that you're more cerebral or communicative when it comes to the throat. I want to say you're a self-projected projector or mental projector. Yeah, maybe. I'm here. Oh, cute. Is there any signs of seeing someone not enjoying eating in front of others in HD? Yes. Low sound people, strictly because like they do not want to talk to somebody else while they're eating. From the digestion aspect, there's literally one of the 12 digestions that you can have in human design is low sound. So these are people that need it to be quiet. Maybe they'll talk to one other person, or maybe they'll have another show on, or maybe there will be music, but they don't like a lot of stimuli. Or busy restaurants or like club type restaurants. They're not the people that do boozy DJ brunch on a Sunday. That's like personal hell for someone with low digestion or low sound. And then, yeah, it can be a couple other things too. Like, and it depends on the nature and nurture. Like say somebody's a Scorpio rising and they, being perceived as uncomfortable, or Leo Cancer rising where people perceive them or somebody made fun of them. Hi, Chelsea. For the way that they ate growing up. Like there's multiple ways you can kind of look at it. But also like undefined throat, if you didn't want to talk while like, you're like, I don't have anything to say, like, can we just eat now? Like there's some people that like, you can be comfortable with the silence, but there's other people that are uncomfortable with comfortable silence because they're like silence meant bad, whatever. Yeah. Okay. I only have the top 3 middle areas filled. Okay. So either self-projected or mental projector. From what it sounds like. So yeah, that for you, you're more of the rare projectors. So your type of projector is, mental projector. Being a mental projector is more rare. I don't quite remember the percentages of mental projector, but I think I'm being generous when I say like 14% of the population is mental projectors. 20% of the population is projectors no matter the energy type. And then I don't remember off the top of my head what percentage is mental projectors. So yeah, that's it. The undefined throat. Thank you. Yeah. You're just like, can I just eat my hamburger? Like, can I just have a cheeseburger? Like, I don't want to, like, can we just enjoy? My dad has an undefined throat and he's living with us. And so I'm gesturing because he's upstairs. My dining room is above where I am. And, we just don't talk while he's eating. If we talk, it's because he had something to say, but I don't, initiate conversation because I know that it strains his voice. So it's really interesting to see that and then to know that about my Virgo dad. Yeah, of course, absolutely, Afro. For both you guys, I'm happy. Oh, 1% apparently. So yeah, definitely being overly generous with that. Thank you, Malia. Yeah, 1% makes sense. Hi, Jen. Oh, I'm saying hello and goodbye. I'm actually heading out for the evening. But some housekeeping, again, because I have to be up early tomorrow. Some housekeeping. Yeah, Zahria, I'm so glad you joined Patreon. I'm so excited. For anyone, like reflectors, yeah, I mean, that tracks. For anyone that joins my Patreon, it's $22 a month. You get a training with me once a month based for your energy type specifically. This month we're doing reclaiming your voice, values, and relationship with money through the lens of your energy type in human design. A complimentary reading. Thank you so much. Likewise, a complimentary reading that's a part of it, 10 minutes on either YouTube or TikTok. And then bonus content throughout that, access to me where I prioritize like communication with you guys, any questions. If you guys have requests for content or YouTube videos I make, I'll prioritize those. Hence my request from Deanna, my projector for the 1-8 channel. Michaela too. I have some things on my list too going down the line. So just for you guys know what's happening when I mention Patreon, what's involved in that. That's a link in my bio. I'm on Substack now. And I'm also on YouTube as well, doing a lot of lives there earlier. If you guys like to do a body double, 15-minute work sprints with 5-minute like talk breaks, in between to get up and move around, just know that that's there, especially for my high sound people or my opposite people like Noel, who like a little bit of noise and activity and other people to pour into you as you're working. So that's my little housekeeping. Thank you guys so much for being here and supporting me and supporting you. I'm so excited for all the other, I'm referencing all my notifications and connecting with more of you guys at this point. And yeah, if you have any questions, again, you know where to find me. I'll be on here, you know, for the rest of the week in content perspective, but I'll be on live on YouTube, starting on, Monday again, or Tuesday, Monday I'm busy. But yeah, so I will see you guys later. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your night. This will be on YouTube latest tomorrow morning. So I'll see you guys and I'll talk to you later.